Hello, believers, non-believers, and everyone in between. You're listening to Stories with Sapphire. I am Sapphire Sandalo. Now get cozy and open your mind because it's story time. Hi everyone, welcome to Stories with Sapphire Live. I'm Sapphire Sandalo, and this is the live stream I do every Wednesday at 5:30 Pacific Standard Time. So just a heads up, I think I'm going to keep this live stream a little bit on the shorter side, just because I'm still nursing a sinus infection, which is so cool and so fun. And then also I haven't really eaten much today, so I need to go eat something. Mikey C, thanks for the super chat. Hope you have a wonderful and or spooky Christmas, Sapphire. Well, I hope you do too. All right, so let's just get into it since I'm gonna cut this baby a little short. I'm trying to think if there's any announcements. Today a new podcast episode came out, wherever you listen to podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. I feel like a lot of people who subscribe to me on YouTube don't know about the podcast. Like, even if I'm not posting here on YouTube, every other week I'm still putting up stuff. So, yeah, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, I think is also there. So, yeah. All right. This story comes from... Do they want to stay anonymous? No. Oops. Shoot. I literally just pressed backspace and there it is. This is from Faye, called That's Not My Friend. Hey Sapphire. Oh, just kidding. It's from Lynn. Hey Sapphire, I'm Lynn. I'm 17 now, and I have had a paranormal thing going on in my life. But yesterday, my old classmate talked to me about one of my old best friends, and I remember this story, so enjoy. I suppose I was around 14 years old. My best friend had passed away from a robber a year ago. I suppose since this memory is quite foggy, since this memory is quite foggy about this encounter, I have had more paranormal stuff happening. But this was like around 4 a.m. and I woke up with that feeling of needing water. So I got up to go to the bathroom and got water. I didn't have a cup, so I drank straight from the tap. After I wiped my mouth and looked into the mirror was all foggy. I first thought it was the bad light, since the only light was a small electric clock. So I wiped the mirror, and it was foggy indeed. My hand became wet, and when I looked at the mirror, I saw my friend. She was pale and had a hole in her head where she was shot. Oh my God. I covered my mouth, trying not to scream, but my friend spoke softly, saying, "It's peaceful. Give in to your sadness." I was speechless, since I have suffered from depression for a while and tried to end my life a few weeks before. I had no idea how this ghost of my friend was there and speaking, so I tried to go back to bed and get sleep. So I started to fall asleep, but suddenly I woke up, like that moment where you almost sleep and suddenly a switch goes off and you're wide awake. That's what happened. So I stared at the ceiling, confused, and tried to move to sit up. Maybe I had to pee? So I tried to move, but I can't. I heard about sleep paralysis, and I just knew I shouldn't freak out and stay calm. It probably happened because my body fell asleep, but my mind didn't. So I just tried to control my breathing. I blinked, and suddenly in the corner of my eye, I spot a figure. I thought it might be my mom checking in on me, but then I blinked again, and the figure was standing much closer, and I saw it was my dead friend. For a reason I didn't feel normal. For some reason I didn't feel her normal comfort I felt in the bathroom and when she was alive. So even though I tried to be calm, I started to panic because this figure that looked like my friend bent down and spoke in my ear with a deep, low growl. Give in to your sadness. I freaked out and closed my eyes and suddenly woke up. I looked around, my body shaking, and I couldn't sleep anymore that night. And even though I didn't see that thing anymore, I kept feeling being watched. And sometimes when I'm awake at 4, I'm extremely sad, like something wants me to feel sad. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this story, Sapphire. Big fan. Oh, well, it's very heavy. Thank you for sharing that. The line, give into your sadness, that's like so creepy and spooky. I don't like that. Sorry if I sound like kind of gross because I got a sinus infection somehow. Hoping it's not COVID, actually. I've had COVID twice now, and I'd rather not get it again. But it seems to be on the mend, so we'll see about that. All right, this one is from Kiki. Hey Sapphire, I love watching your videos so much. Whenever I need comfort, I automatically open up your spooky tales. I still remember the stories you used to tell on Snarled. I miss you when you were on Snarled, but it's great you made your own channel so I can hear the stories from you and only you. I have a creepy story I want to tell. Oh, first story. I'm 12. I go to my home country every year to meet up with family. Meeting family, going to hotels, having fun. A bit of backlash ever since I was 3. I always had this dream once a year about a man with big eyes, and he just stared at me in my dreams. Weird, I thought to myself when I would wake up, since I barely remember dreams and forget them 4 hours into the day. But the weird part is I really remembered his facial features, his hair, and him. I never saw something or someone who looked like him. I thought nothing of it, though. Last year, I had a different dream. It was something about this painting and something about that guy. The painting was called The Unforgiven Painting, or Painting of the Mysteries, when I woke up that day. Oh, sorry, there's no period, so I'm doing my best here. Painting of the Mysteries. When I woke up that day, I wrote the name quickly and searched it up. Weird, I got no results. I thought this was all a stupid idea, but I pulled out my art supplies and started drawing what I could remember about the painting. I looked up and it kind of looked like something I gave up. A year passed and here I was. Yesterday was the last day before going back to the country I live in. My brother bought these shoes which light up. It broke, so at 11 p.m.-ish, my parents went to exchange it, while me and my brother and grandpa were in the car. For reference, our car was parked next to the sidewalk next to some shops. The guy in my dreams, the very same guy, was walking past the car. He had his eyes open wide. While walking closer to our car, he opened his eyes even wider, staring at me. I got so creeped out and confused. I looked at his way he was going, and he was behind our car. I closed the window and sat back down quickly, locking the doors and closing the windows. He wouldn't leave until my parents got back. I feel like he knew me. It was like he was waiting for me, like I knew him for years. Who could have known who he was or where he was going? But it definitely looked like he wanted me or something. It gave me the chills. Sapphire, do you know what's happening? I need some answers. I'm so shocked. All right, here's the second story. I'm 12 and I'm visiting my family in Egypt. So I just gained an accent for some reason. I'm 12 and I'm visiting my family in Egypt like I do every year. I always go to my grandma's, my mom's aunt, since her mother died before my mom got married. But this year, we went to my aunt's house, my mom's youngest sister. My grandmother wanted to see me already. She missed us so much. We got dressed and my aunt mentioned something about this old but cheap taxi app. She said she used it many times in the past and nothing happened. I was skeptical at first, but I shook it off when he came. The car was old and rusty, and he was wearing a prison-like shirt. When me and my mom, aunt, and brother got in, my mom said, "Hello, how are you?" to the driver. No answer. My brother explained in English how he also said, "Hi, how are you?" to my mom. In Egypt, if you speak English, it automatically means you're either rich or not from here, which means the taxi takes more money than they're supposed to since you're rich and stuff. Oh, it's kind of like in the Philippines. I tried to act out to my mom to stop speaking in English, and I looked in the car mirror at the top. It was normal. I always do. He was staring at me intensely. I was about to open up my AirPods when I got too lazy to open up my bag. Then I noticed we were driving in circles. My aunt tried telling him the way, and he said, "I'm driving using the app." 20 minutes in, my aunt said to go up, and we'd arrived to my grandma's, and my aunt said, 20 pounds, right? The guy said, "No, I want 50. My aunt was enraged, trying to explain how it's 20 pounds, and on her phone it said 20. And he said, "Oh, well, then I'll send you back to where I left. Oh, well, then I'll send you back to where I picked you up." I started shaking. He doesn't know where I live. We were literally under the house. My mom and aunt screaming. Luckily, my grandma's housekeeper saw us and was shouting at the guy. My mom's screaming was so loud, everyone on the first to fifth floor could hear my grandma. They called my grandpa and my eldest cousin, so they came down running with large metal sticks to break and bash his car. My mom unlocked the door and took our bag with our clothes and her bag with her money and ran out. I pushed my half-sleeping brother first. He fell on his back on the ground. I held my bag and phone and water bottle and ran. I was so thankful I didn't wear my AirPods that day. My mom bagging on the car door as the car left. My mom threw 50 pounds from the open window and ran. Everyone in the building was traumatized. Sorry, there's no punctuation. As well as me. I went to my grandma's. My other aunt and my cousins were there, and I wanted to cry so bad. But I didn't want my brother... But I didn't. My brother was bawling his eyes out. He was so hurt. Fast forward to the next day. I woke up and heard a ringing in the door. I unlocked the door and saw who it was. I was shaking. It was the taxi man. I closed the door and locked it. A couple hours later, my uncles and aunts came. We told them what happened, and they tried to get the taxi's number to go to the police. My mom told them it's not that serious. At 2 a.m., my family was sleeping, and my eldest cousin was out with friends. I heard the doorbell. I looked at the peephole. This time, it was the same taxi guy. I screamed. I woke up the whole family. We tried contacting the housekeeper. She always was down with the security guard. The outside door to enter the apartments was locked. How'd he come in? Plus, the gatekeeper doesn't let anyone in. There's a button in each home which unlocks the door. But no, the door was locked. I made sure. I was so scared, but the keeper said no one came in or out last night. Wait, I thought, was he a ghost? My cousin was sleeping at some friends that night. No way, I never saw him from that day on. But one thing I can be sure of, that he was 100% real, right? Oof. Sorry, I struggled through that. There was no period, so I was a little fumbly. Sorry about that. Sorry, I was reading the chat. That's pretty spooky, though. I mean, there's so many, like, weird horror stories of even, like, Uber. God, there's, like, this one story I remember reading about where this, like, woman was getting a ride home late at night, and then she realized that she was in the car for a really long time, and then she, like, looked at her phone and realized, like, they're not even going in the right direction. So she's like, "Oh, excuse me, you're not going, like, in the right area." Like, it was just, like, 40 minutes away. And he was like, "Oh, sorry, I guess I got lost." And then just, like, turned around and went to her location. And she was like, "What the fuck?" That's so crazy, right? Like, I don't know what I would do. I don't know what I do. Okay. All right. Like I said, we're going to cut this stream a little short because I still feel a little shitty. So we're going to do the card pull now. All right. So at the end of every stream, I always pull a collective card for a reading for everyone. We're going to do the Beyond Lemuria Oracle card. And this is given from our moderator, Adam Lombardo. Thank you. And if anyone wants to send gifts, you don't have to, but it's always fun getting, like, random, like, letters in my P.O. box. I really appreciate it. I got, like, letter from someone recently. My address is on, I should probably put it here, huh? My address is on my Instagram profile. My Instagram is just my name. Instagram.com/Sapphire Sandalo. All right, y'all, ready for your card for the week? What to reflect on? Okay. This one. Ooh, that's a cool picture. What's this? Crystal keys. Can you see that? All right, let me read this for you. Lemurian quartz crystals are special pieces of clear quartz said to have been encoded with great knowledge for the spiritual evolution of the human race. This card is about deciphering wisdom codes. Be inspired to find the wisdom hidden in times when you feel triggered. There is so much information within our raw and intense reactions that when you choose to be present and peel back the layers, great spiritual insight will unveil itself in a way tailored just for you. Wisdom comes through inner paradoxes, be odd, in creative flow or a state of surrender. These crystals may be powerful keys to your spiritual evolution. So what does that mean? There's so much, I like this part. There's so much information within our raw and intense reactions that when you choose to be present and peel back the layers. Is it saying like look at your, there's information in our reactions? Because I resonate with that for sure. Interesting. All right, I'm going to be thinking about that all week now. All right, y'all, I'm going to be wrapping this up. Thanks for joining me. Sorry this one's short, and sorry I sound very nasally. I don't know what happened. I just have really bad sinuses, I think, because I get a sinus infection every year. It's like a little tradition I have for myself. All right, y'all. I'm pretty sure that I will be streaming next week. Let me check the calendar, actually. Is that like weird if I do? The 27th? Maybe. Would you guys be here if I streamed? We'll find out. But, all right. Well, I'll see you guys. Thanks for joining. Bye.